Here is a number that should genuinely bother you. 1 in 4 new car batteries fails prematurely, not at the end of a long, useful life, but within a year or two of purchase. And the majority of those failures trace back to a handful of brands sitting at eye level on the shelves of the most popular auto parts stores in America. Here is the thing. The cheapest battery on the shelf is almost never the cheapest battery you will ever buy. Replace it twice in 3 years, and you have already spent more than a single premium AGM would have cost up front, before you factor in the tow and the morning you were late to something that mattered. Your mechanic already knows which brands are junk, but at the parts counter, they sell what the store stocks, not what they would put in their own vehicle. Smart drivers in 2026 are not shopping by price. They are shopping by chemistry, cold cranking amps, and warranty length. Stick around until the end, because the final brand on our reliable list carries an 11-year warranty and a cycle life that makes every other battery on this list look disposable. Avoid brand 1, Econocraft. Let us start at the bottom, and we mean that literally. Consumer Reports lab testing ranks the Econocraft 35E dead last in its entire battery group for reserve capacity. Not near the bottom, last. The brand that AutoZone stocks for impulse buyers at the parts counter has become a symbol of exactly the problem those buyers walked in to solve. The data is brutal. Dead last in reserve capacity testing. A 3-month manufacturer warranty. The shortest confidence statement in the entire battery industry. No cold cranking performance worth citing. And get this, a 3-month warranty is not a gesture of goodwill. It is a manufacturer quietly admitting the product has a short life expectancy. Econocraft uses cheap flooded lead-acid plate construction with inadequate electrolyte suspension. No AGM architecture. No calcium silver grid reinforcement. No thermal management of any kind. Translation: it was engineered to hit a price point, not a lifespan. AutoZone's warranty replacement model absorbs the complaint cost, meaning the failure is baked directly into the business plan. Bottom line, a battery with a 3-month warranty is not a product. It is a promissory note for a breakdown. Econocraft is the automotive equivalent of a temp worker hired for a permanent job. It shows up, does the minimum, and disappears before you even learn its name. But if you think a 3-month warranty is the boldest display of corporate indifference you will see today, the next brand has built an entire retail empire on the exact same philosophy, just at a much larger scale. Avoid brand 2, Everstart Value. Everstart Value is the single most purchased car battery in the United States. It is also one of the most consistently poor performers in independent testing. That is not a coincidence, that is what happens when retail ubiquity replaces engineering ambition. One distinction matters enormously before we continue. The Everstart Platinum AGM is a genuinely respectable product. The value line exists in an entirely different universe of quality, and most buyers never realize they grabbed the wrong one off the shelf. Consumer Reports flags the Everstart value for weak life cycle performance and limited reserve capacity. Real-world failure windows of 12 to 24 months are widely documented. The real kicker is that Walmart's proximity and easy return policy make replacement feel painless, which masks just how frequently this battery actually fails. Translation: the convenience of the store is doing the work the battery cannot. Flooded lead-acid construction, low-grade plate materials, no start-stop compatibility, highly susceptible to plate sulfation. The #1 cause of early battery death under the repeated charge-discharge cycles of modern commuter driving. Bottom line, Everstart Value is not a battery decision. It is a subscription to the battery replacement cycle, sold to you between the motor oil and the windshield washer fluid. Now, those two brands are budget players, and you expect some compromise at that price point. What you do not expect is to find a brand with a legendary reputation on this list. But here is where it gets truly uncomfortable. Avoid brand 3. Optima was once the gold standard of AGM batteries. Full stop, built in Colorado. Pure lead at 99.99%. On-site chemists, PhD electrochemists, a dedicated prototype chemistry lab. Mechanics staked their reputations on it. Pre-Mexico Optima batteries routinely lasted 8 to 10 plus years. That reputation was real and it was earned. Then Johnson Controls acquired the brand. They fired the scientists, dismantled the chemistry lab, reformulated the electrolyte paste, swapped the AGM separator paper for a cheaper grade, raised the tin content in the lead alloy, and moved manufacturing to Mexico. What came out the other side wore the same iconic spiral cell badge. It was not the same battery. Post-acquisition lifespans dropped to 2 to 3 years. Professional forums, F150 online, JK Forum, Bob is the oil guy, are filled with identical accounts of early failures from recent production batches. One former plant worker stated it directly. Johnson Controls is the company that killed Optima batteries. And get this, drivers are still paying a premium price for what is now a mid-tier product because the brand's reputation is running decades ahead of the current reality. Bottom line, Optima today is a museum exhibit masquerading as a performance battery. The legend on the label is real. The product in the box is not what built that legend. Do not pay for the reputation, pay for the engineering. And right now, that engineering lives somewhere else. All right, 3 brands off the table. Now let us talk about where your money should actually go. Buy brand 1, Odyssey by Enosys. Odyssey does not run Super Bowl ads. It does not sit at eye level at the parts store. What it does is deliver a verified 10-year service life with engineering rooted in military and aerospace applications. Extreme series rated for up to 10 years of real-world service life. Cold cranking amps between 850 and 900 on flagship models. Reserve capacity of 140 to 155 minutes. Used by military contractors, OEM suppliers, and fleet operators who cannot afford a failure. That is not brand loyalty, that is procurement data. Odyssey uses pure lead-thin plate AGM construction, TPPL technology. Thinner plates packed tighter mean greater plate surface area, more power density, faster recharge, and deeper discharge recovery without the plate sulfation that kills conventional batteries permanently. Translation, it handles the abuse that sends other batteries to an early grave and comes back asking for more. And get this, DieHard Platinum. AGM, sold at Advance Auto Parts, is a factory rebranded Odyssey. You can access this exact engineering at a lower price point without even realizing it. Bottom line, bulletproof electrochemistry at its most literal, the iron backbone of every reliable fleet on the road. And if you want that same Odyssey engineering without the Odyssey price tag, the next brand is exactly where you find it. Buy brand 2, DieHard Platinum. AGM. DieHard has been a household name in American automotive culture for decades. The Platinum AGM is the version that actually lives up to that name. And the reason it performs so well is an open secret in the mechanic community. It is built on Odyssey's platform, rebranded for retail accessibility. Cold cranking amps between 585 and 900 depending on group size. Reserve capacity up to 160 minutes. A 4-year replacement. Warranty, one of the longest terms available at retail. Engineered to deliver up to 2 times the lifespan of a standard flooded battery. Stamped grid technology delivers superior conductivity and internal durability. Full AGM construction makes it compatible with start-stop systems, regenerative braking, and high-draw electronics. The real kicker is that it exceeds, not just meets, OEM cold cranking amp and reserve capacity requirements. Drivers report leaving parking lights on for 6+ hours and still achieving a clean cold start. Bottom line, OEM-grade engineering with a consumer price tag and a 4-year warranty most competitors cannot touch. The quiet professional that lets the specs make the argument every cold morning. Buy brand 3, Interstate batteries. Interstate has been in the battery business since 1952 and has never needed a rebrand or a reputation recovery. Mechanics trust it, fleet operators spec it. And unlike house brands that rely on shelf positioning, Interstate earns its standing through performance data and installer loyalty built over 70+ years. A GM models retain 650+ cold cranking amps at 18 months, compared to 550 for budget brands at the same age. The MT7 flooded line lasts 20% longer than industry averages. In Arctic conditions at -22 degrees Fahrenheit, ClimateGuard models deliver 310 cold cranking amps versus 280 for competing brands. Here is the thing. CoolCube technology embeds heat-resistant separators between plates that reduce warping under thermal stress, showing 85% capacity retention after 1,000 cycles at 100 degrees Fahrenheit versus 63% for standard batteries. Translation: Interstate is engineered for the climates that break other batteries, not just average conditions on a test bench. Bottom line, the brand mechanics recommend, when they are spending their own money. That is the only endorsement that actually counts. If this breakdown is already saving you from a costly mistake, hit that like button and subscribe. MotorMind covers exactly this kind of real-world data every single week. Now, back to the list. Buy brand 4, AC Delco Professional AGM. This one requires a distinction up front, because getting it wrong will cost you money. AC Delco Standard tests poorly and belongs in a separate, much shorter conversation. AC Delco Professional AGM is a completely different product. It is GM's OEM-grade battery, built to the exact electrical specifications of the vehicles it ships in: Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, Cadillac. Modern GM vehicles run advanced driver assistance systems, heated seats, navigation, surround cameras, and multiple always-on control modules. A battery not engineered to that exact load profile will underperform and fail sooner than it should. AC Delco Professional was developed inside that environment, calibrated to the precise BMS parameters of the vehicle it powers. Translation: fitting a generic budget battery into a BMS-calibrated GM is a mismatch the car's computer will register long before the driver feels it. Bottom line, not brand loyalty. Engineering logic. The default correct answer for any GM owner who wants to stop having this conversation repeatedly. Buy brand 5. Bosch S6 AGM. Bosch carries serious weight in European automotive engineering, and the S6 AGM earns it. But there is a trap that catches thousands of buyers every year. The Bosch S3 sits on the same shelf with the same brand name and is a materially inferior product. Do not confuse the two. The S6 AGM is what European OEMs specify, the standard replacement battery for BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and VW, which run the most demanding electrical architectures in the consumer automotive space. Calcium silver alloy grid construction, full AGM sealing, and thermal management built for the aggressive charge-discharge cycling that European start-stop systems impose. Verified 5+ year lifespans under normal operating conditions. The S3 has been documented for dropping cranking performance measurably after its first year in cold climates. Buying a Bosch S3 thinking you are getting S6 performance is one of the most common and most expensive battery mistakes drivers make. Bottom line, the engineering precision you expect from Stuttgart when you buy the right line. Make absolutely certain the box says S6 AGM. Before the final brand, drop your current battery in the comments right now. Tell us what you are running, how long it has lasted, and whether you would buy it again. Let us see what Motormind viewers are actually putting under their hoods. Buy brand 6. Dakota Lithium. Every other brand on this list operates within the lead-acid or AGM paradigm. Dakota Lithium plays an entirely different game. Rated for up to 10,000 charge-discharge cycles, 20 times the 500 cycles of a standard sealed lead-acid battery. An 11-year warranty, the longest on this entire list by a margin that is not even close. Built-in thermal management that self-regulates between -40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Translation: the battery that replaces an Econocraft after 12 months, this one is still running when the vehicle it powers has already been sold twice. Yes, the upfront price is premium. Yes, it requires a lithium-compatible charger. But here is the real kicker. For drivers who hold vehicles long-term, live in extreme climates, or simply want to buy one battery and forget about it for a decade, the total cost of ownership math flips completely in Dakota Lithium's favor. Bottom line, not a battery, an 11-year infrastructure decision. The last car battery conversation you will ever have about this vehicle. In a market full of products engineered to fail on a schedule, that is not just impressive, that is genuinely revolutionary. The battery market is a two-tier system, engineered reliability on one side and calculated disposability on the other. The brands on that avoid list are not accidents. They are the outcome of business models that treat your breakdown as an acceptable cost of their sales strategy. Before you buy your next battery, check 3 things. First, the manufacturer date code on the case. Never buy a battery that has been sitting on a shelf longer than 6 months. Second, AGM versus flooded. If your vehicle has a start-stop system, and most vehicles built after 2015 do, you need AGM. A flooded battery in a start-stop car is a failure waiting to be scheduled. Third, cold cranking amps versus your climate. Match the rating to the coldest temperature your vehicle regularly faces, not the annual average. Those 3 checks take 90 seconds and will save you hundreds of dollars and at least one very bad morning. Hit subscribe if you want the truth about what is actually sitting under your hood in 2026. Motormind does not sell batteries. We just tell you which ones will sell you short.